So those who like to play, I hope you enjoyed the Holi. Just give me a second. Just... So we were in that model of hydro, right? And I had asked you to that if you get some time, try to create a couple of such seats, right? Uh, guys, hello. This is what I had asked you to do, right? That is still try to create revenue tab, the formulas starting from here. If you get some time, try to do it. This is what we had talked till last time. Yes or no? And take this assumption of 45-50% as it is, because these are more regulatory driven or more of industry driven. So I said you that take them as it is, but still look at for other formulas and try to build that. Hello, am I correct in knowing, or is this something else we discussed in the last session? Am I audible?
Yes, Sumit, you're audible. This is the same thing we discussed. Hello?
So why are you guys not responding immediately? I don't know. What's the problem?
Yeah, same was discussed. You're audible.
Audible, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, and I also asked you that if possible, try to go through the debt schedule, right? Has anybody gone through
Yes.
this? Has anybody got time to go through this during the weekdays? Has anybody got time to go through this? So shall I assume nobody has gone through it? Hello? Shall I assume nobody has gone through it?
Yes, Sumit, I have
Actually,
I have not gone through it. So you can assume that maybe others, if somebody has gone through, you can yes. Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
we know, and actually I don't find it surprising, because I know the weekdays you guys do not get time. You wouldn't have gone through it. Anyways, so this is where we have to start, right? Debt schedule. That is where we said that next we will pick debt schedule, because this is again going to be very important aspect for modeling, for you guys to model, and you will understand the depth of it, that how the debts are scheduled monthly, quarterly, and annually, right? And I said told you that unlike the one example which we have done for debt scheduling, when we were doing simple caselets, as compared to that, this one would be far detailed and more of micro level numbers will be there, because it will not be annual, it is monthly scheduling, as we say. As you can see, monthly as well as quarterly as well as annual scheduling is there. So this is something which is very broad. If you can understand this, I guess no no other debt schedule can be difficult than this one. So if you can understand this one, that means you can create any debt schedule in any situation, right? And in project finance, debt is a very important aspect, guys. You need to understand, right? Debt is a very important aspect. Why debt is a very important aspect in project finance? Anybody has any clue why debt is a very important aspect in a project finance kind of modeling? Anybody? Karan, Fiza, Chandni. Why debt is very important in a project finance kind of event?
I don't know exactly, but it is my it's more like a opinion than the real knowledge, right? So I think because these are capital intensive businesses, and you need to take the debt. I mean, it's very
That is
difficult to
brilliantly.
implement.
That's why it is. See,
Yeah.
we are talking about a hydro asset model, guys, in
Yeah.
which it is going to cost such somewhere around 8,000 to 12,000 crore. Without cost escalation, 8,000 crore. With cost escalation, it can go as high as 12,000 crore, right? Now, 12,000 crore is not a very small amount, right? And
Right.
that too, and
Sumit,
that, and the sorry, I have mistakenly gone on mute. And that too, that large amount too needs to be what? It needs to be brought in during the construction period. That means for the next 4, 5 years, 6 years of gestation period, there would be a gestation period in which you will not have any source of money
revenue.
coming inside.
Yeah.
So you will not have any incoming money. That means you will not have any revenue generation, nothing, right? No income, nothing. It will only be cash outflow, cash outflow, and cash outflow. So there are two things. One, there's a huge requirement of there's a requirement of huge investment which cannot be borne by only one party or only in the form of equity. And second, the cash inflow will take much more time than the cash outflow will be upfront, and for cash inflow from project to project, it depends how long you will have to wait, but you will have to wait. For example, if the project is a road construction, FISA, if the project is what? Road construction. Now we know road construction, the Mumbai to Delhi corridor is under construction since last now 8 years to 10 years, right? So it's a long time, right? That the construction carries on, and then government starts collecting the money from us once the road is functional and we can travel from that road. Then we pay to government in the form of toll. Yes or no?
And plus, you cannot survive without debt. You need debt for your project to move forward, for capital expansion,
Correct.
and
Correct. Yes. So there is no inflow of money for many, many years, and there is the project cost is very high, that one individual party or a group of investors, it's difficult for to bring in that much of capital. And also you guys need to understand
So,
that, yeah,
can it be used for this working capital as a working capital?
yes, it can be used as working capital, but current working will start after 5 years.
Okay, okay,
For the
sir.
first 5 years, it is only capital expenditure development.
Okay.
What do we mean by working capital? Think about it. Working capital is what? When the business is operational, right?
Yes, sir.
When the business is operational, you need working capital to buy raw materials or short-term current assets and current liabilities, right?
Yes, sir.
But current assets and current liabilities are not in the picture when business is not started.
Yes, sir.
When the construction period is going on for the first few years, 4, 5 years, 6 years, we saw that in the last time, right?
Yes.
Depending on how long the project will grow, construction can go with delay, without delay, 5 years to 7 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Three scenarios are there. Minimum is 5 years, then with delay of 1 year, it can be 72 months, that is 6 years. Or in the downside scenario, that it can be delay of 2 years, that will bring up the time to 7 years, right?
Yes, sir.
So during this time period, there is no working capital. Working capital requirement only appears when the business is up and running. That is, cash inflow and has started. Revenue, you have started generating revenue. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, yes, you need working capital. You need loan for working capital management also, and you need loan over here to start the business. You need to construct the entire space, and right now you need loan to construct the entire space and become eligible to generate revenue, right?
Yes.
So that is why debt is a very important aspect of project finance oriented businesses, guys, because the capital infusion will be upfront and will be very, very, very heavy value. So there's another third thing, Nikhil. There's one more thing for which these projects take debt, and we need to rule that out also. We need to understand that also. Tell me, which is very risky, debt or equity? What is very risky?
Equity is more risky.
Equity.
equity is
Equity.
risky.
And that
Yeah.
is why cost of equity is always more than the cost of debt, right?
Right.
Because equity is very risky, you don't want to take that much of risk, and you dilute the risk, you take debt so that your risk goes down. And look from equity or owner's perspective. When they bring debt, the risk of them goes down or not, right? So because equity is very risky, you take debt to dilute the risk. And that is why weighted average cost of capital will always be lower than cost of equity. Because weighted average cost of capital would be a cost of capital including both equity as well as debt, right? Cost of equity as well as cost of debt. Right? So yeah, that's a good point. So there are three things. One, let's now to conclude why debt is a very important aspect of project in a project finance fashion. One, uh, upfront capital infusion requirement is very high, and no one party can bring on that on table. That is why you need more differentiated parties. Second, what is second? The construction period itself can be very high. So for a long time period, there might not be any cash inflow for the business. And third, cost of equity is very high. That means equity infusion is very risky, and that is why to dilute the risk, what you will take, you take debt also. Is it clear? Is it clear or any question on it?
Yes, Sumit, clear.
All right. So now let's follow the same structure that we were following in the since the last two sessions. That first you go through the monthly debt schedule, quarterly debt schedule, and annual debt schedule only for till column number, not the entire thing, but till column starting from column B to column R. That's all. Column B to column R. Because after that, the formulas will be more or less what? Copy paste. Right? So learn from column B to column R. And here from row number 1 to row number 46. So I should write it over here, right? Row number, go through row number 1 to 46 and column number B to R. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Clear.
Cell by cell, right? And try to understand the formula also. How that formula is. Because that's how. By the way, Maitri, have you got the time? I could see you have joined now. Have you got the time during the weekdays to create one tab at least?
Sumit, I tried recreating previous class session, but what happened is I couldn't put the formula. I tried it 100 times, but I still went wrong. I'm stuck there. That operational factor formula.
Which?
Previous
Which
class.
formula?
So that's like if you go to the page.
The one which is no one
generation
or
and revenues.
I'm going to that. Course on
zero or
operational
one.
count. This we have done in the class itself, right?
Yeah, I have the formula in front of me, but still when I did it, it's not coming wrong. I don't know where I'm going wrong.
So now I have removed that formula also. We had created in this tab. Somewhere we had created, right? Let me check.
Assumption tab, we did it.
This one, right? Here we had done somewhere we had done it. I remember it.
Yes, in this page we had done it.
The one where it is 0, 1 is coming. Yeah, the same. Yeah.
Oh, such an easy formula, you're not able to complete it. Yeah, is it like that?
Yes, so much. Still, I don't know. It's not working for me. I tried everything. Not this one. Not this one. The fraction one. If
So
the
that is
operational
removed.
counter is 0, then if
that formula is removed right now. So that is not there in my sheet, right?
yeah, this is not there.
But
This is
we
the
build it.
year of operation. This
We
line
built in the
is
session, right?
first. We
had
did it
built
in a session. I have seen the YouTube link also. I've copy pasted it. Below that, I've done it, but still it's not working. I don't know where I'm going wrong.
Okay, so what we will do is we will go through your solution, how you are doing it, rather than looking at how we are doing it, right? But
Okay.
before that, let's start the session first, because otherwise.
Yes,
But
yes.
once we will start discussion,
Maybe
then we will first take that also.
At the end or
And we
something.
will
We'll
take
be
that
fine
also.
then. Yeah.
And we will take that also. But right now, let's start with the objective.
Yeah, yeah.
First the debt schedule, right? So row number 1 to 46 and column number B2 are. Okay. That is something which you have to first go through from cell by cell, and then we start
Yeah,
our
yeah.
discussion.
Got it, Sumitra.
Cool. Like operational counter, here you will have something called as month counter, which is very not tough. Project operational, yeah, something like this. Project operational counter is there. Additional. As just go through it entire thing. Yes, guys, have you gone through it or still going through it? Guys, am I audible?
Yeah, Sumit, I need
Yes,
uh,
sir.
It's fine if you can
Typing.
say I'm still going through it. That's fine.
yeah, gone up to quarterly. We just have to finish only.
Okay,
Yes.
not an issue. Maitri, what about you?
Yeah, so much need a lot of time. Fully to not finish.
Go through it. Go through it. Yeah, not an issue. Yeah, I'm giving you that time because on weekdays you don't get time to go through it your own.
Sumit, hello.
Yes, Nikhil.
Yeah, I've gone through it. So if yeah.
Okay. So what about Maitri, Fiza?
Sumit, there are many things that we need to understand. So we can start, Sumit, like slowly, like because uh, the terms for month is same for quarterly and yearly, right? So first bit, if we understand, it should be fine. We'll start discussing.
Okay. So you completed the month, you mean to say?
No, I completed till year, but there are many things which I did not understand.
So let's go one by one, that only. Na?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what.
So what are the basic things which you understand from it, Nikhil? Let's start from your.
Yes, I think the basic thing is that that how the the debt the I mean withdrawal of the debt is happening. First is monthly basis. Okay. So first they consumed, I think, the 15% equity which was upfront. So that is why they are starting from
So
February.
that's a very important point you brought in again, because this is something which we had discussed when we were going through assumption.
Yeah.
Then that was a very important thing, that how much equity, whatever is how much debt is approved by the bank is not what you will start getting from day one. With 70% debt, they are ready to give 70% of the project cost as debt. They're ready to give back to you by that is promised to you by the bank. With that promise, bank will also first put a clause that will not start giving you the funds from day one. So up to what percentage of the project total cost will be covered by equity, and then only debt funds will start coming, is something which we had discussed. So that said, whatever equity holders have promised, 50% of that needs to be brought in on upfront basis. So that comes out to be 15% of the total project cost, because equity holders has promised 30% of the total project cost to be financed by equity holders, and that 30% ka 50% will be 15%, right? So first 15% will be brought in by the equity holders, and after which they would start in giving you the loan. So 15% of the total project cost without any cost escalation will be how much? Or the total project cost is without any escalation. It's 9273, right? It is including IDC, and without IDC is how much? And excluding IDC, we can just look at both. 1050, right? The first 1050 will be brought in by. If that is something which is there, is reflected over there in that debt schedule. Nikhil?
Sorry, 1 minute.
1050 crore, right? So when the debt started coming into the picture, the debt is coming from February 12.
Yeah, so we'll have to go to other sheet, which is this is linked with this
Construction
construction
IDC.
plus IDC. So there they have put
They
in
have the
this.
project schedule.
Yes,
Project
yes.
schedule, how much will be drawn, what is the total requirement and all, right?
Yeah.
If you see the first for the time period for which there is no debt. So here right now there is no debt drawdown. Okay, let me go up. So right now there is no debt drawdown till here, right? No debt drawdown till here, till here, till here. Up to here, there is no debt drawn. So let's look at how the total, what is the total worth of money which is infused by equity shareholders. And if you look
Yes.
at it, it will come somewhere, it comes somewhere around 992. Okay. That is upfront equity contribution.
Right. So what? Just to make it simple, if you go to assumption, Sumit, let's go to assumption.
It's coming 1069. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So अगर आप assumption पे जाएंगे तो you see that there is a this 7,000 crore is the hard capital cost they assumed, and then 2237 they assumed is the
It's
IDC.
IDC. Yeah.
So and then we, based on the total duration of the project, we distributed that how I think 1.4% will be the monthly expenditure.
Correct.
So 1.4% of this 7,000 crore, if you go, it comes out to be 1.4%.
996. Somewhere
Yeah,
97.
equity तो इतना आ ही जाएगा, 50% तो आ जाएगा. If you go here 7,000, ये 7,000 crore दिख रहा है ना आपको?
Yeah.
So then 1.4% of this
97 होगा ना?
97 होगा.
Correct.
So that is they actually so every month they need 97 close to 97 crore or 98. Correct. I don't know how much it is coming.
97 point कुछ होगा वो actually में round figure होगा ना इसलिए 98 आ रहा ठीक है वो 1.4 is not exactly
1.4 नहीं है actually वो
1.37 something.
Yes. So I just took, because limitation of time I didn't go, check
ठीक है, that is fine. That is 1.37.
So yes. So this 97 crore, they starting from the month 1, right? The project start date.
Correct.
And first they are consuming that 50% of the equity. And at a certain point of time, there is certain debt and there is a certain equity which is coming. And that is why in the first one, when you are drawing the debt, it is not 97, but it is 78. So that remaining portion is coming from the equity, and at that point of time, it is becoming, it is the consumption of the equity is happening full, right here.
This is the you can say the joining point where now the debt will start participating.
Right. So now we can go to our debt file. Yeah.
15% of the project, almost 15 to 17% of the project, 15 to 16. How much is this? 13.9% here, right? 13.9% of the project is completed till Jan 12 based on this function of 1.4%, right? Right. So, यहाँ पर जो ये number है, that is coming wrong. Think about it. This is cumulative number. 1.4, 2.8, 4.2, 5.6. So this number should be exactly 15%.
Right.
Think about it. This number should be exactly 15%, which will demarcate what? Which will demarcate that 15% of the project is completed. But exactly what percentage of the complete project will be completed in February 12? Exactly up to February 12, this plus 1.4%. That is the minimum you do per month, right? 15.3%. So for 0.3, debt will be there. Until 15, equity will be there. Again, what I'm saying? Up to February 12, how much percentage of the project is completed? Up to February 12, 15.3% of the project is completed, right? See, in the first month, how much percentage of the project is completed?
1.4%.
1.4%. So this is cumulative. In the second month, what percentage of the project is completed?
1.4 plus 1.4
plus another 1.4.
Yeah.
And that exact 1.4 number is we saw over here, project cost drawdown in earlier day.
Yeah.
Right. So if cumulatively I'll have to calculate, this will be 1.4. Then the second month, this will be this plus 1.4, right? I'll just put F4 over here. So by the time I reach to February 14, 15.3% of my project should be completed. Right?
Right.
That means from February to, there is a conjunction. This is intersection basically. It's an intersection where debt will start participating. Debt will start participating by what time? What percentage? 15.3% minus 15%. That means 0.277778200% of the, or 0.3 or 0.28% of the project cost should be brought in by whom? By debt over here, right? Yes or no? Is this point clear or not? From February. Before this, everything will be zero from debt. If you have to bifurcate this into equity and debt, this is equity and this is debt. First month, who will bring the entire money? 1.4% is the project total project cost, which is nothing but 97 crore, right? Total project cost is how much? 1.4% of the total project cost is nothing but 97. We can calculate over here, right? 7,000 crore is the hard code cost, right? Into 1. Sorry, not right, multiplying over here. You can multiply it from here. So 97.22 is to be brought in the first month by whom? Equity or debt?
Equity.
Equity. The entire 97.2 will be brought in by equity. Debt will bring what? Zero.
Zero.
Why? Because this 1.4% is less than 15%. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Right. So I calculate it over here as a formula equal to, if this number is less than 15%, where that is minimum, and I should not take it from here. I should take it from assumption. If this number is less than 15%, because in assumption tab, that number is exactly calculated somewhere here.
Just here.
In equity contribution,
Yeah.
right? And I should fix it, right? Comma. If this number is less than 15%, then equity of what value will be brought in by the business? 97.2. Yes or no? For that particular.
Yes, yes.
Right? If not, that is, if it is not more than 15%, then there will be something, there would be some other condition. Right now, let's assume zero. Right now, to start with, let's assume zero. So, if I'll copy paste this formula for all the years, till here, nothing will be a problem. Till here. That is till January 2012, there is no problem, right? So, till January 12, how much money of equity has come into the project? 972.22 crore, right? Then comes February 12. If I use the same formula over here, there would be a problem. That would be, so sorry. हमने formula बनाया है. This में ये है. This will always be one. ये fix करना पड़ेगा. I'll have to fix it. Sorry, give me a second. This needs to be fixed. Right? Yeah. So till here there is no problem, right? Then comes February 12. February 12, my total project completion reaches where? This is project completion. My total project completion reaches where? A level of 15.3%. Does that mean I will not have to brought in any equity in February 12? Does that mean I do not have to brought in any equity in the first month of February 12?
The percentage will be reduced.
Yeah, the value will be reduced,
We'll
the
still
percentage
have
will be reduced, but I still have to. And what is the worth of equity I have to brought in? I will have to brought in 15.3% minus, no, I will have to brought in equal to 15% minus 13.9%. Yes or no?
Yes.
This much worth of project cost I will have to brought in the form of equity, which will be nothing but which will be equal to 1.11% into 7,000 crore. That is my total project cost, right? 77.78 crore. 77.78 crore. That means the remaining in that month The remaining in that month will be brought in by who? Will be brought in by? Because total monthly construction cost is how much? 97.22. So the remaining will be brought in by who? Debt. And that is why this February 12 is the intersection point of debt and equity, yes or no?
यस सुमित, इसमें लेकिन आई थिंक इसमें उल्टा हो गया है
एक्चुअल सॉल्यूशन में बोल रहा हूँ.
हाँ,
that is a Trojan. That is a Trojan. Because I want someone to come up and tell me that this number is wrong.
which number?
जो इस
अच्छा
solution
ये ओके ओके
solution के अंदर जो नंबर है वो रॉन्ग है, ये मैं चाहता हूँ कि कोई आके मुझे बोले. वो
अच्छा.
कहाँ पर था वो मैंने एग्जैक्टली अभी आपको बताया था 2 मिनट पहले ही कि एक नंबर है 0.3 आ रहा था, वहाँ पर कहीं तो आ रहा था, वो मैं भूल गया.
नहीं वो 0.3 उल्टा हो गया. वो एक्चुअली आई डिडंट चेक द फॉर्मूला इन द
वो फॉर्मूला नहीं चेक
पुराने वाली शीट्स में ना.
यू नो द मीनिंग ऑफ इट. हाँ, यहाँ पर एक्चुअली में वहां पर ये नंबर जो है यहाँ पर 77.8 जो है वो ड्रॉ डाउन आ रहा है किसका? डेट.
इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द डेट. इट शुड बी हियर.
जबकि ये डेट नहीं होना चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए?
इक्विटी होना चाहिए.
ये इक्विटी होना चाहिए. तो यहाँ पर जो ट्रोजन है वो इस फॉर्मूले के अंदर 0.3 नहीं होना चाहिए. ये वैल्यू जो होना चाहिए वो होना चाहिए 1.1. थिंक अबाउट इट. द वैल्यू शुड बी व्हाट? 1.1. Because up to 1.1 we will reach to 15%. So this number would be completely ulta. This number would be topsy-turvy of it, right? So the number should be 1.1 over here, which will make equity to be not 17 but not 19 but 78. And debt will be then 0.28 or 0.29, which is nothing but 0.3. मतलब ये 0.28 या 0.29 number है ना, 0.28 का. ये क्या है? ये debt होगा. This would be debt, and that would be nothing but 90, जो कि अपन ने कैलकुलेशन यहाँ पर करा. तो ये इस तरीके से दिखना चाहिए. This is how it should look like from monthly drawdown perspective. ये outcome my3 we need to prepare first before we go to solution. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because this is your mind work. This is your mind work.
Yeah.
And then you jump towards creating formula. Rather than looking at formula again and again, as I say, rather than looking at formula and try to find out ho kya raha hai, the better approach is first try to understand what I'm required to do, and then see the outcome of it, and then start making the formula. So abhi is formula ko update karte hain yahan par, because the formula was giving me wrong answer. Yes or no? Abhi piche jate hain wapas. This formula was giving me what? 0 value. This formula is giving me what, my3? Value 0. Whereas we have seen the value should come what? 77.78. And it should not be too, because this can't be done. It can't be done in a way that I start the formula from here and I copy it and paste it till here, and then from here onwards I start making a different formula. No, it should not be like that. It should be one formula which you start from here and you copy paste till the end of the project, and the same formula should give you 97.22 when it is required to be 97.22, and the same formula should be able to give you an answer of 77.78 when it is required to be 77.78, and the same formula should give you an answer of 0 when it is required to be 0. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So from here you would start updating the formula.
Sumit, one question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Sumit, that 77.8 I'm not aware about. Can you again repeat once?
Yes. So
Like
77.8 is simply cumulatively, if the project starts, Damini, from here, in the first year you complete how much of your project? 1.4% of the project. By the end of second month, how much of your project will be completed? 2.8%. By the third year, how much of your project will be completed? 4.2%. Right? Yes or no? Do you understand this logic or not? Huh?
Yes.
Yes. So by the time you reach to February 12, how much of your project will be completed?
15.3.
15.3. And from where till what percentage of the project you have to keep on bringing only equity? Till what percent of the project getting completed you have to only bring equity? Huh?
Till 15%.
15%, right? That means in February 12, you will not bring entire 97.22. Yes or no? Because
yes.
97.22 is the total cost, but that 97.22 should not completely meet by what? Equity. Why? because then that would exceed the limit of 15%. Yes or no? So February 12 is that month where debt holders should start giving you loan, right? So how much portion of still needs to be brought in by equity till you reach 15? So what is the difference between 15 and 13.9? That is the difference needs to be still further brought in by equity. Yes or no?
Okay.
Yes or no?
1.1%. Yes.
Right? So
Mhm.
first let me make it 15 minus this much has to be brought in by
13.9.
equity, right? So this is
Hmm.
1% of the project cost. How much is the project cost? 7,000 crore. 77.7. This out of total monthly cost is 97.22. Out of which 77.78 will be brought in by whom? Equity or debt? Equity. And remaining will be brought in by whom? Debt, which is nothing but 0.28 into 7,000. Yes or no?
Okay. Understood.
Or you can calculate it the
Yes,
other way
understood.
also, 97.22 minus 77.78. It will give you the same answer. Yes or no? This 19.44 has to be brought in by whom? Debt or equity?
That.
So this is where you got 77.78. Any confusion?
No. Understood.
Understood, right? Now let's update this formula. So what should we do? Think about it. What should we do? It should not be 0. We know we have done wrong. So we are saying, boss, when it is less than 15%, okay, take the full. That is how much project has to be completed. 97.22. That is monthly cost of all the project, right? So take full. But when it is equal to 15.3%, then also it is fine. In the year when if it ever reaches to equal to 15%, then also it is fine. So if it is less than or equal to, I'm okay to take the entire project cost. But when it is more than 15%, when it is more than 15%, what needs to be done?
I think we need to calculate the differential between 15% and then what the cumulative value is becoming in that year.
Should we do
But,
that? Or 15% minus last year's cumulative value?
हाँ, वो भी कर सकते हैं.
वही करना पड़ेगा last year's, because this year's का cumulative value is 15.3 minus 15 minus 15.3 करूंगा तो वो negative number आएगा. That means rather than you putting equity, God is giving you equity, or the project is giving you equity. Right?
Okay.
Right. So otherwise, what I have to do is, I have to see, simply I can write 15% minus last year's project completion. That will give you me the project completion for which needs to be financed through equity in that particular year. Yes or no? Or in that particular month. Yes or no?
Right.
Right. But still there is a flaw in this formula, and you will see it. What is that flaw? So if I do that, and that will multiply by 7,000, right? That is the project cost. It will give you the value. So I pick this 7,000, right? And this needs to be F4. This needs to be fixed. Project cost is going to be 7,000 crore. And rather than using this 15%, what I should use rather is what? Assumption D32. That 15% I should do. So no hard-coded number. Pure. And enter. Now I copy it and I paste it till here. Now what is the problem? Still there is, that's what I saw. Told you. There is still a flaw. Now what is that flaw? It is getting multiplied by 15%, because 15% of 7,000 is 1,050. Right? Rather than it should be multiplied by what? 15 minus 13.9 should be there. So where have we done this mistake in the formula? Think about it. कहाँ पे मिस्टेक किया? हमने फॉर्मूला तो देख के डाला था, राइट? D32 assumption D32 minus O30. That is the problem. It should not be O30. It should be the year before it. Yes or no? A year before it. And now after that, if I do, am I getting 77.2 or not? अभी हुआ कि नहीं हुआ सही? Right? Because what is the error we were doing when we used 13.9? 13.9 तो यहाँ पर था. We wanted, it is not 13.9 is not important. What is important? That if it is more than 15%, then 15 minus whatever the last cumulative number is, right? So right now the cumulative number is over here is 0. So, and we don't, and this will not get activated also. The first month itself, it will not get activated, right?
Because we have not reached the 15% yet.
Yeah, because limit in the first month itself, limit cannot reach 15%. Right? So now still, is this formula perfect? We have got our what is required 77.2, but is still this formula is perfect? No. Why? Because this is just February 12. What is above after February 12? What is after February? What is happening after February 12?
Negative value.
Negative value. In fact, rather than negative, it should be either 0 or a proportion of 30-70. Yes or no? 30% equity, 70% debt, right?
Yeah.
That means further updation in the formula is required. The formula is good. The formula is perfect. Till what time? Till you reach
Intersection point, yeah.
Beyond intersection, this formula is faulty. Yes or no? So, Maitri, are you able to understand the process? Because understanding the process is important to create a formula. Maitri, it is not mugging the formula. It is understanding the process of creating the formula. Yeah.
Yeah. The calculations I'm able to understand. Why we are taking less than like 97.2 till Jan 2012 and in February 77.8. I understood the numbers, but framing this formula, I'm not sure.
I just framed in front of you, right?
Yeah.
See, we are doing what is required us to do, right? And then we are keep on updating it so that you get the perfect formula which is correct in all the scenarios. That's all what we are doing, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So still we got it. The formula is not perfect because if formula would have been perfect, we would have got 0 over here. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, Amit.
Subsequent months, it should have, years, it should have been 0.
Should have been 0. But now it is not 0. Now we need to further update this formula. How should it become 0? Let's think about it. Again, let's go to, and this should be one formula which gives us 0 also, which gives us 97 also, which gives us 77 also. And there would be another, and then after bringing 0 over here, guys, there would be one more hurdle which we would have to clear, Nikhil. And what would be that? That would be the last hurdle. That would be what? When we want to further bring it to another number, which is not 0, but which is in the proportion of 30-70. From whatever year we start or for whatever month we started to equity to further bring it, because till here equity has been only infused up to 15%, but it is promised that equity holders will bring how much equity? Total project cost cut 30%. Yes 30%. Or no?
Yeah, additional 15% could be like we have to do.
We further have to distribute. So first, and that's why I'm saying that's going to be the fourth hurdle. So first we started with the first 15%, how to get the number. How to get this 97.2. Then we updated it to when we reach to intersection point, should I get the right number or not? So we cleared 2 hurdles. Now we have to reach to third hurdle, that after crossing the intersection point, how my formula should behave. So that is third hurdle, and that would be 0. Your formula should give you a response of 0. And even after that, how are you going to get an exact number when you have to reinfusing? When you have to start to reinfusing the equity, what number should be coming over here? That would be the fourth hurdle. And if we clear all the 4 hurdles, your formula is perfect. Right? So let's bring in the third hurdle, how to solve it, how to make it zero. Think about it. I'm saying that
When the
up
okay,
to 15%, I'm saying up to 15%, it is 97.22 always, because that is my monthly cost, right? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Right. And what should I do when this number has crossed 15%? Cumulative nahi, cumulative nahi. Cumulative number has crossed 15%. Sorry, yeah, cumulative number has crossed 15%. Still, it's just the intersection point where equity will have to further keep on bringing some equity. So we said that we will minus the last year's cumulative number and we'll multiply it with 7,000. So we solved that problem. Now, what we have when we have completed our 15%, so what should be after that, right? So basically, what we are trying to say over here is this, and if you try to create a formula like this, think about it. What we are saying is, as soon as the total contribution of equity shareholder reaches to what number? 1050. Yes or no? As soon as it reaches to 1050, equity shareholder should stop contributing any further contribution. Yes or no? We are saying this or not? Tell me.
Yes, yes.
Right? So, how to bring it over here? Think
So
about
once the cumulative value becomes this 1050,
yeah.
then the value from the equity should become 0.
So if you try to create how to create a formula out of it, because there are multiple ways we can go wrong. Because if you try to create a formula like that, there would be a circular referencing issue. Circular referencing issue, which would
can
completely
we
blast
do
our
this
model.
way, Sumat, when the project completion percentage is more than 15%? Because for February 2012,
Then you tell me what to do. Don't explain me what. Yeah. So you're saying project completion figure is 15%. Then what should I do?
that equity contribution will become 0.
Now that is a problem. So if you do that, and which we have already done,
No.
what will happen for
After
February
this
also?
Year,
February.
for
So after
Feb 12, only for this year we have written this, right? The second updation we did for the present formula. After this, if it exceeds 15.3%, that is like greater than P30.
And I see 15.3 has no consideration in any formula. You need to understand this 15.3 can become 18.9, it can become 12.7, it can become anything, depending on what this is. Because this can change every time.
Yeah, that number, if changes, the formula goes down.
The only number which we can use as a point of reference is 15%, because that is pre-decided as per assumption. This project completion can change as you change the tenure and everything.
Sumit, can we put a if simply one if, and whatever the value is coming of this current formula, if that value is greater than 0, if that value is positive, then it is okay. If that value is negative, then it should be 0.
Okay. Brilliant. So this entire coming in a if this entire value is less than 0, then 0, otherwise the same value, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise it is coming positive. Brilliant. And this would work like butter. Perfectly, it will work. So we have cleared our third hurdle. But as soon as I do it, the fourth hurdle starts troubling me, because I do not want it to be 0 all the time. There would come a time when I'll start re-contributing. When I start re-contributing as an equity holder, yes or no?
Yes.
Because then you will never become a contributor again. So that means you've fooled the banking people. Yes or no? Think about it. You fooled the banking people.
And that point would be when we have already consumed the debt which was I mean, let us talk about that. What when we need to reinfuse the.
Correct. What is the time when we do? So that is the fourth one. So far we are perfectly fine, right? This was a brilliant idea brought in by you, that if the value becomes negative, make it 0. For all the positive values, let it the way I have already created a formula, right? So far things are fine. Right. Now let's decide when the equity holders should start reinfusing. Think about it. Now, parallelly, debt holders are infusing in this, right? Debt holders are parallelly infusing over here. So, for example, debt holders will start infusing from here, from this point, right?
Yeah.
Till here, how much debt holders have infused? 15%. Like this, if we do it for all the years, maybe this help us get some idea. This is the problem, right? So debt holders have put in 22% of the project cost here. For example, 35% of the project cost till here, 50% of the project cost till here, 85 of the project cost till here. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. The one solution of this problem can be what? That after they reach 70%, they will stop contributing anything, and equity holders will again come into the picture.
Yeah.
Which would be somewhere over here, this point, right?
May 16.
Right. For this time period, equity debt holder will not pay anything. It would be an intersection point basically. Here they would be paying something. That means they would be paying 1.11% of the project cost, right?
Yeah.
And after that, so this would again be an intersection point. The remaining will be brought in by what? Who?
Equity.
Equity. So this 1% will be brought in by equity basically, and 1.4 something that number balance this will be brought in by debt. This would be 0. Basically 28. Only 0.28 will be brought in by debt, right?
Yeah.
Because 769 point basically we can calculate from here also.
9.72, yeah,
70% minus
this,
69.70 will be. So
This
then
will
comes a problem over here.
Oh.
Bondholders, debt holders will have a problem. Debt holders will say, so what if we brought in the entire 70%, which is our promised perspective, after which if you haven't if you close the project, then what to do? You make the project as a junk or sunk product. What to do? Think about it. Why would they wait for so long for equity to further start bringing in the contribution? Think like that.
Sumit, I think equity is also funding the IDC also. So as soon as you will have the IDC, that will also be funded by some portion, 30%
So
of the
that
portion.
would go separate. First,
Yeah.
let's talk about the 7,000 crore, Nikhil, because
Okay.
that anyways will go separate.
Right.
So that would escalate the project cost also, no? That would. So we are talking about the hard cost. That is 7,000 crore.
Hard cost, yeah. Okay.
That is a matter of this 2237.
Right.
Right. So that is a separate thing.
No,
Now
I
again,
just wanted to say that, I mean, in that case, because the investor who is investing his equity, he's also investing over and above 15% also. I
वो
mean,
एक अलग चीज, लेकिन वो
skin-
अलग है, वो पूरा अलग है. अभी हम सिर्फ 7,000 crore का भी 30-70 मैच होना चाहिए.
Right.
It is not 30-70 of 9237. This 30-70
This is 7,000 crore.
is
Understood.
only 7,000.
Yeah.
The remaining का भी क्योंकि because the entire project cost का भी 30-70 इसलिए हो रहा है, Nikhil, because we have assumed that IDC will also be funded in the same manner.
Right.
But that is not a fixed thing. Hello, we can say no, IDC will be funded by 50-50.
Yeah, that is also possible. Yeah.
If that you decide, then this will not be 70-30 of the total project cost. ऐसा नहीं होगा. 91,250. This number is different now. And your equity to debt contribution of 7,000 would be 70-30, and for 9,000 it will not be 70-30, it will be something else. The proportion will be not 70-30. Are you able to understand? Think like this or not? Tell me.
No, I understood. Sumit, my point was that when you said that it will, if the bank has invested his portion of 70%,
Huh.
and the investor who invested his equity is only 15%, and then they declare the project as junk. So what I was trying to say that up to that period there will be some more investment from the investor also, which may not be for the hard cost but in the IDC also.
That is true, but that
Yeah.
is something different.
Right.
That is totally different than this project only. Right now, this working is purely from project hard cost of
Hard
the
cost
project.
point of view. Okay,
Because
understood.
we are only taking into consideration this 15% or 70%, whatever we are saying. So all this 70%, 15%, whatever we are doing is in context of what? 7,000 crore.
7,000 crore.
7,000 crore only, right?
Yeah.
The IDCC is a different thing, which would then separately be part of it. Obviously, we'll have to take into consideration that also. But right now, it is the biggest challenge, which is the first thing, which is hard cost. IDC is after this, right? So at what level should equity or debt holders would like the equity holders to again start coming into the picture?
Maybe when they have invested their 50% of the portion, 35%, let's say, out of that 70%, they have invested that.
Start karte hain वापस से. 15% who would put equity holder, right?
Yeah.
Remaining 15% has to be put in by equity holder later on.
Yeah.
70% total has to be put in by debt.
Debt. Let's say bank. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Don't you think they should do it like this when the entire ratio reaches to a level when the contribution can become 30-70 again? The debt holders would like to reach to a level first from where 97.22 है ना? This contribution reached to a level where 30% comes from equity and 70% comes from debt till the end of the project, till they reach to that level. So if they have to reach to the level, let's think about it. What would be that cost when they would reach to a level where they can start contribute in the original decided ratio, that is 30. It will be fine if equity shareholders do not participate.
Could not hear you, Sumit. Your voice was breaking.
For on 100, if 30 has to be brought. Sorry, am I audible now?
Your voice is breaking.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
I'm saying, can we think like this, Nikhil, that see, what is the original proportion decided by equity and debt? What is the original proportion? 30, 70. Life would have been easier, Nikhil, if there was no 50% condition. What is the 50% condition? That whatever equity holders will have to brought in has to be first brought in up to 50% by equity, and that only debt will start paying, right?
Right.
If that condition would not have been there, then there wouldn't have been any problem. From the start of the project, out of 97, 30% would have been financed by whom? Equity. Yes or no?
Yes.
And 70% would have been financed by whom?
The bank.
Right. So every month's contribution would have been same. Think like this. Every month this would have been the contribution till the end of the project. Yes or no?
Right.
But problem क्या हुआ?
Problem ये हुई because the bank wanted that 50% of that 30%, which is 15% equity, should be invested upfront in the project.
That is 1,050 should be first brought in. After that, debt will start contributing. So मैं कह रहा हूँ पीछे से देखो. Look from the back side. Look from the back side. They didn't start like this, but they would like to end like this. Yes or no? The debt holders would like to end like this at least. They didn't start like this. They start like this. 100, 0. Right? This is how they started. 100 actual payment, I'm saying. 100 equity, 0 debt. Yes or no? Hello? This is 100% equity. Hello? This is 100% equity and 0% debt. Yes or no? 0 debt is coming over here, right? For the first 12 months, 0 debt is coming over here. Yes or no? So the entire contribution is fully financed by equity and 0% by debt. So they started like this, but both of the parties would like to end like this. Yes or no?
उल्टा होगा 30 ऊपर जाएगा 70.
Sorry, 30, but they would like to end like this.
Yeah.
Right? So कौन सा वो वैल्यू है जहां पर डेट पहुंचे उसके बाद ये कॉम्बिनेशन हो सकता है वापस से? थिंक अबाउट इट. कौन सा वो वैल्यू है? Yeah, tell me. What can be that number which makes it like that, where then the contribution start becoming 37? So it's very simple. Think about it. Half of what equity holders had to pay, they had paid in first. Yes or no?
Right.
So what is the total project cost they had to pay? They had to total pay 7,000 ka 30%. Yes or no? Total they had to pay 2,100. And how much have they paid upfront? 1,050. What is the total the equity holders had to pay? Sorry, debt holders. Right? How much they have paid so far? 0. Right? Now from here onwards, can it be possibility that first they've also brought in by 50% of what they have to pay? So 2450. So what is the total cost? 3500. Till the time it reaches to a level where debt holders have brought in completely how much? 2450. Equity holders will not pay anything. Think about it. Equity holders say, what we have committed 30%, we have already paid 15%. Now you committed 70%, you pay your 50%, that is 35%. Right? And then we will start again putting money. Can it be possible?
Yes.
And if that happens, can the ratio again turn to 30-70?
Yeah, because both of them have paid half of their portion, and then what there is the remaining will have the same ratio.
Right? Is something like this has been done over here? Have you noticed this thing over here? When are equity holders again coming back?
I have not gone to that, that column number.
ठीक है, अभी देख लेते हैं. When are equity holders coming back in paying? From here? Yes or no? From February 14th, they are coming back into the scene.
Yes.
And paying. And this is again 30-70, exactly 30-70, right? So before which only debt holders have paid. So let's see how much debt holders have paid. 2236 plus 78. 2314, something like that figure which we have thought of. हमने 2450 का figure बनाया ना? Something like that figure, yes or no? Because we know it would not be 78-19, it would be debt drawn will be how much here?
उल्टा होगा.
19 over here and 78 over here.
Yeah. This will be the reverse, yeah.
तो इसको कहाँ तक पे करना पड़ेगा? 2450 तक पे करेगा लगभग that is the number we are getting. So we will do, and we'll do exactly because of that one formula. There is some problem in the entire answer, but is it, are we reaching to the level or not? Think about it. 2255, close to 2, the number which we want to reach, yes or no? So far, are you able to understand what I'm saying? So far, are you guys able to understand what I'm saying, guys? Then we will move forward.
Yes, Sumit. Yes.
What about Maitri, Fiza?
Yes,
Sumit, can you explain this again? This 2140, how you arrived at this 3500? 7,000 I understood. 15% equity. Now the debt is saying that 15% equity hoga, tabhi we will come into picture. 70%.
ठीक है. See, what is the total project cost?
7,000.
Right? In what proportion it needs to be brought in by debt and equity?
It needs to be brought in 30-70 का proportion है. 30-70.
But are they from day one? Are they start paying in this proportion? From day one of the project, are they paying in the same proportion?
No.
So for what is happening then? If they are not paying in this proportion, then what proportion are they paying?
15%.
Huh?
15% पे कर रहे हैं pay.
Sorry?
Yeah, they are paying in 15%. 15%.
What 15%? They are paying 0. Say hello. They are paying 100 0. What are you doing? Hello. What is their monthly requirement? Payment requirement is how much? 97.22. Yes or no?
Yes, 97.
Hello.
Yes, Sumit.
So they are paying in 100 0. Yes or no? Entire 100% is to be paid by whom? Equity or debt? Entire 100% of this monthly requirement is to be paid by equity or debt? When I don't get response, it's really confusing if you are understanding or not. Fiza, to start with, Fiza, please respond quickly. Start.
100% or 0% proportion. I will start with 100% and 0%.
What does it mean? What is 100% over here? What is it telling? What is 100% here, Fiza?
Equity.
That means this 100% of 97 will be paid by whom? Equity holders. Yes.
Equity holders. Yes.
How long will it be? How long will it be taken forward? How long this story will be there? In how long, or for how many months, or for how long will this proportion be same? 100 0. How long? Or how long will they keep paying? How long equity holders keep paying Fiza? Huh?
जब तक 30-70 नहीं हो जाता. 30-70.
क्या 30-70 नहीं हो जाता है यार फिजा? क्या बोल रही हो यार? जब तक वो 15% ऑफ टोटल प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट पे नहीं कर देते, यस और नो? उस समय तो बड़ा 15% बोल रही थी. अब जब बोलने का टाइम आया तब क्यों नहीं बोल रही हो? What is that value? What is that value? उसका वैल्यू का नंबर है, क्या नंबर है वो?
1050. जब तक
1050 पे नहीं हो जाता तब
तो
तक who will keep paying? Equity holders will keep paying. Yes or no?
Yes, equity. Yes.
उसके बाद में कौन पे करेगा?
उसके बाद डेट आएगा. 70% डेट आएगा.
तो क्या वो किस रेशियो में आएगा फिजा? किस रेशियो? अब उसके बाद का पेमेंट किस रेशियो में पे होगा? 30-70? क्या उसके बाद का पेमेंट 30-70 के रेशियो में पे होगा क्या?
हाँ 30/70 में.
Think about it, Fiza. Think like a business person.
%15 से दे स्टार्टेड. 15% जब उन्होंने पे कर दिया तब 70% आ गया. अब 70% डेट ने पे करा. दे स्टार्टेड पेइंग.
Anybody else is able to understand, by the way, guys? Other than Nikhil, anybody else is able to understand? Or am I just talking to myself?
Understood.
Can you explain, Chandni, what will happen once they pay out 1050 crore, when equity holders pay out 1050 crore, how the payment will start?
So, okay, that is a hurdle, or that is the question we have, because they have a requirement of upfront 50%. That is out of 30%, we have got the 15%. And now we don't know when the bank is expecting for the equity to contribute 15%. So as a possibility here, what we are looking, that let's have an assumption when we come in a proportion of 30 to 70%, in the sense that the debt has also reached to 70, whatever the amount we have contributed, it comes into proportion 30-70%. So the calculation you have done on the left, I mean in the column BC, from 7,000, first we have taken out the 15%, which was 1050 amount, right? And similarly, we were trying to deduce how 2450 means, like what will be the 70% contribution. We wanted to arrive the value at from where we can start the equity again. So to find this value of 2450, we have calculated, we know 1050. Similarly, we have calculated this 2100 and 4900 from 7,000, 30% and 70%. 30% of 7,000 is 2,100 and 70% of 7,000 is 4,900. So now what we wanted to know was when we will reach 2450. So we have calculated this value from the rest three values by multiplying 4900 into 1050 divided by 2,100, you will get 2450. That is when you have the debt is contributed till 2450. From there, we can ask the equity to start back of the 30, whatever the 15% was.
Brilliant. Brilliant, Chandni. Have you understood this, Fiza? See, it's a very simple thing you need to understand. First, 1050 is fully contributed by equity. Now, what equity are saying, or equity holders would say, is that we still have to further brought in more money. We know that, but let's assume for some time you keep on contributing. Debt holders will keep on contributing 100%, because for many months we kept on contributing 100%. Monthly expense required was 97.22 crore. We kept on contributing 100% of that till we reach 1050 ka level. Now what we want is you keep on contributing to 100% till you reach to a stage, till we reach or together reach to a stage that again we can start contributing in the proportion which we had promised, that is 30/70. Ultimately, they reach to start repaying of 30/70 proportion. So if they have paid 1050, which is nothing but 50% of their total commitment. Total commitment of equity holder is what? Total commitment of equity holder is 2100. So they have paid 50% of their commitment. Now they would require the 50% of the total commitment of equity holders, sorry, bond holders or debt holders to be paid by debt holders, and then the proportion can further resume at 70/30 original. So that 50%, so for that we first have to find out what is the contribution committed by bond or debt holders. The contribution committed by debt holder is 4,900. That is 7,000 into 70%, right? So 50% of this 4,900 will be how much? 2450. So in the second round, the complete 2450 should come from whom? It should come from debt. The first round, the entire 1050 came from whom? From equity. So once this equity holders has stopped paying 1050, then debt will start paying and will complete their payment to 2450. By that time, they would have completed 50% of the project. Now, in the remaining separate cost, how much cost is left? 7,000 minus 3,500. That remaining cost can be paid in 30-70 ka ratio, and which would be fine. Because if they keep on paying in the 30-70 ka ratio, after few payments, they would find that they have reached to a stage that both have paid in the same proportion, that is 30-70. See, 97 ka 30% and 97 ka 70%. After how many payments they would reach to that stage, let's find out. ओ 180 हो गया तो इसको डिलीट कर देते हैं, डिलीट कर देते हैं 986. See, 3,500 exactly in how many months? In 36 months. So exactly in 36 months, that is 3 years, the entire drawdown will be completed. Equity holders and debt holders both would have paid what they are required to pay, and the project would have been completely constructed. Is it clear, Fiza, now?
Yes, Sumit, yes.
Can you explain me what you have understood?
So,
Can you explain me what you have understood?
yes. So, हमारी project cost was 7,000. Now, when the cost came out to be 1,050, so 15, then the debt started. 70%.
So do practice it for it to understand, because on weekdays, if you will not practice, on weekend magic will not happen. Okay, do practice it on your weekdays, then only you will understand things really well. I understand these are not easy, but you have to regularly practice and go through it. And we are discussing it because it is not easy. Otherwise, what is the point of taking this course, right? Obviously, we are understanding this because this is not easy, right? So now all the hurdles of the formulas are clear, right? That was the fourth hurdle. Nikhil, now you can jump in back. That was the fourth hurdle. We need to decide that when equity holders would, we decided that when they would start coming and reinvesting, when the total drawdown of the total project, that means total drawdown is how much? Total project cost is how much?
7,000 crore.
Iska 50%. Iska 50%. That is 3,500. When 3,500 worth of value is invested, then equity for the remaining rounds, equity holders can again come back. Yes or no? Think about it.
Right, and then they can maintain the ratio.
And that is what we have to factor in this formula, and we are done.
Yes.
Right. So let's see how we can factor in this formula before going on to break. Right.
Yeah.
So how we can factor in, and it would be easier if we add a couple of more rows over here, because to put everything in one formula can create a lot of cross-referencing problems. Now, at least after reaching this.
Right.
So in some formula, if we can calculate cumulatively repayment, cumulative payment, total payment हर month कितना होगा cumulative? This plus debt.
Yeah.
Right? From here onwards, it will be purely debt. So debt holders will be paying how much? मैंने गलत ऐड कर दिया है।
क्यूमुलेटिव एक्चुअली आपको पिछले महीने का भी ऐड करना पड़ेगा उसमें।
नहीं, वो भी ऐड करना पड़ेगा, बिल्कुल वो भी ऐड करना पड़ेगा। सो दिस प्लस दिस will be, and we will have to make ये total payment, ये total monthly payment
Drawdown, yeah,
or drawdown, yes,
yeah.
And this will be cumulative payment, right? So total will be what? Equity plus debt, yes or no? Till here
Right.
equity was giving 0, right? Till here equity was giving 0 because 0% proportion tha equity ka, right? 100% proportion was of debt or the total project cost. From here debt holders will start paying. So debt holder का यहाँ पर payment कितना होगा? 0.28 into 7,000. From here onwards, only debt holders will be paying, equity holders will be paying 0, right? So I'm manually writing over here for the timing, just to be correct, right? Because we are in one formula, so let's first complete that formula before going to any other formula, right? How much is paid? 4880. ज़्यादा हो गया, 4880. कितना पे करना है इनको? 2450. Till the time they pay 2450, they have to keep paying, right? And debt holders, equity holders will not pay anything. So 2450. यहाँ पर कहीं पे 242352 हो गया, 2450 exactly यहाँ पर, and it is not difficult to understand why it is coming 35% over here, right? But it's fine. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर कितना पेमेंट हो गया? 2450 हो गया. यहाँ से we will have to calculate how much who will pay. Till the time they reach 2450, only debt holders will be keep paying, and equity holders will be paying 0. So ये आपका टोटल पेमेंट आ गया. अब यहाँ पर निकाल देंगे क्यूमुलेटिव पेमेंट. It should come 3500, right? नहीं आ रहा है, ये 0.02 क्यों आ रहा है? ये यहाँ पर 1.67 बता रहा है. We had तो ये मिस्टेक है. This हो गया सही. Let me just come cover. हाँ, ये अपन 97 और ये कब तक आएगा? जब तक 3500 2450 ने पहुंच जाता है. सो यहाँ पर मेरा क्यूमुलेटिवली क्या बनना चाहिए? दिस प्लस टोटल पेमेंट, राइट? Am I reaching to cumulative 3500?
Yes.
Right? ये करने के बाद में, so these two rows we have to add, and then we can again come to equity formula and then say, well, if this entire value is less than 3500, this entire value is up to 3500, then the formula will remain same, right? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Right? Or we can say the other way around, that this entire value till last year or till last month, this entire value has reached up to 50% of the project cost, because 3500 number को हम hardcode नहीं कर सकते, because project cost can be 8000. In that case, that number will be 4000. Yes or no? Think about it.
Right, Sumit.
Right? So इसमें एक और if लगाएंगे. If यहाँ पर नहीं लगाएंगे, ऐसे we can write it like this. If total value which is over here this value is equal to and then I can foresee that will also not work because not every time it will be 3500. Then this total number will keep on changing 3500, 3600. It should be greater than 3500. Okay. Equal to or greater than 3500. Okay. Yeah, this can work. So let me take this formula from here and because we should not happen. Mera jo pura formula is I'm saying if this entire if a value total cumulative payment which is this one is greater than equal to how much? Total project cost ka 50%. That is 7,000 divided by 2. Then the value should be something. Otherwise, the value will be what the value which is currently coming. Right? So, पीछे का formula same रह जाएगा बस यहाँ पर we'll have to write कि क्या होना चाहिए. In that case, what will happen? In that case, equity holders will start producing 30% of the monthly cost. Yes or no? If that value is greater than equal to 3500, if the total cumulative value is greater than 3500, then equity holders will start will come back in the game. Yes or no? And
Yes,
will
yes.
start giving 30%, right? So, is project cost ka jo monthly project cost hai, I'll fix that number. Multiply by how much? The actual contribution promised by equity holders, that is 30%. Right? Otherwise, the same formula which was already there. We देखते ही आता है कि नहीं आता. If this formula works or not, let's look at it. Copy. Is this formula working? Is it working fine? It's not working fine, right? It's not working fine, right?
You have to do Control S. Save.
वो करा, Control S कर दिया.
अच्छा कर दिया आपने.
But this formula is not working fine. So there's some more bracket related problem or somewhere something like that. So इसको delete करते हैं वापस से. वापस इसी formula में आते हैं. हमने क्या किया? Let's look at it. We have said E35 is greater than E35 is greater than equal to. अच्छा, वो formula में D20 को fix नहीं किया. Because 3500 तभी आएगा ना जब ये D20 fixed होगा, right? अभी करते हैं. अभी देखो, is it formula working? Is this formula working? देखिए 0 0 0 हो गया. यहाँ तक सही चल रहा है, right? Now we have reached to 3500. तो अब इसके आगे we have to process. इसके आगे के फॉर्मूले प्रोसेस करेंगे. इसके आगे के फॉर्मूले प्रोसेस करने पड़ेंगे हमें. That to reach. तो ये फॉर्मूले को मैं यहाँ पर पेस्ट करूँ. कंट्रोल एस कर. कितना है? 29. Did I want it to come 29? Over here. Think about it. Did I again want it to come here 29 or not? Tell me. Because 29 is nothing but 30% of the monthly project cost. Hello. Did I want there to come 21 or not? 29 or not?
Yes.
मैं वही चाहता था ना. Have we achieved that? अच्छा, ये multiply कुछ और हो गया. Basically, total monthly project cost कितना है? 97.22 into 30%. यही आना चाहता था, ये आ गया, right? That means we have made the perfect formula of the world. There is only one more hurdle, and that is the fifth hurdle. If you guys are able to understand that, that's fine. Not, then I will tell you about the fifth hurdle also. So let's first update this formula with a better improved formula, right?
I think when we consume the
Till here.
whole equity, it should become zero somewhere, you know.
एक सेकंड ना, मैं ये
Sorry.
फॉर्मूला पहले अपना सही है कि नहीं है। 29.2 आ रहा है यहाँ पर, यहाँ तक सही आ रहा है, ठीक है। अभी अपन को ये एक्सटेंड करना पड़ेगा। अब डेट कितना आएगा? इन दिस केस डेट विल कम व्हाट, when it will come, when debt contribution should be how much? ये debt का contribution 97.22, right?
So differential should be from the debt.
So from here onwards, debt contribution, rather than taking differentials, we take it इसका 70%, right?
70%, yeah.
तो एक बार इतना ही एक्सटेंड कर रहा हूं मैं, because there is something I want to show you. That's the fifth hurdle which I want to show you. So exactly my equity formula is running perfectly fine, right? Same proportion, 29.2, 29.2, सब सही चल रहा है, right? Things are going fine, smooth, and I'm perfectly fine, right? There's one more hurdle which you guys have to think of. What is that hurdle?
Stop equity when it is 30% done.
यहाँ तक कर देता हूँ, ठीक है, एक बार के। So perfect, right? अभी इस फॉर्मूले को मैं और आगे एक्सटेंड करूंगा तो क्या होगा?
It will take the same value.
But do I want it to come over here at 29.2?
No,
And that
because
is the fifth and the last. Yes.
yeah, we have already reached 7,000 crores, so we don't want.
So this entire formula is useful if this is the year for which we have made this formula is what?
Less than
or equal to 100%.
100%.
Less than or equal to 100%. So he used this formula. Otherwise, the equity contribution will be what? 0. Because project ही complete हो जाएगा ना? Right? So now this formula, if I copy from here onwards, you'll find that it will give me the perfect value. So here it will become what? 101, 101.4. ऐसा कुछ बन जाएगा ये में. जैसे ये 101 बना, क्या ये मेरा वैल्यू 0 आया? आ गया 0? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Right? This is what I want now I'm on the perfect formula. So after doing all this iteration, I have reached to a formula which is perfect, which is giving me the best answer in all the scenarios. Yes or no? Project खत्म हो गया, about 7,000 crore has been spent. So project over, and my value is coming over here as 0. Similarly, we can create it for debt. Similarly, क्या हम debt के लिए similarly ऐसे create कर सकते हैं formula? Can we do it for debt? Can we create a formula for debt similarly? Because right now debt values are coming in a hard-coded fashion, right? मैंने hard-coded कर दिया सब कुछ. Debt के लिए क्या हम formula बना सकते हैं? एक जल्दी से formula बना देते हैं debt के लिए, right?
Right.
Contribution from debt should be how much? यहाँ पर बना हुआ भी है in fact. ये कैसे आ रहा है अपना?
ये तो हमने 15% वाला लगाया था शायद.
वो तो हमने ऐसे ही फर्जी सा बना रखा है, right? वो just for the sake of understanding, right? So formula should be perfect mode. कैसे बनेगा? Equal to, if the project completion is less than 15%, then the value of debt contribution will be 0 to start with. Think like this. Yes or no? If this is less than 15%, I should not hardcode 15%. I should take it from assumption tab, right? FNF4. So if that is the case, then my value should be what? 0. But debt contribution should be 0. Yes or no?
Yes.
Otherwise we have to think. For the time being, let's assume otherwise also 0, and let's close this formula to start with. हम यहाँ तक पहुंचे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Yes or no? Because we know यहाँ तक इक्विटी होल्डर कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं करेगा, डेट ही करेगा, क्योंकि 13.9% है ये परसेंटेज, राइट? But as soon as I copy this formula and paste it over here, I'm in a big trouble. Why I'm in a big trouble? Because this time it has crossed 15%, right? This is the first time that this formula has crossed 15%. Yes or no? Yes or no? Guys, are you there with me?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the first time it has crossed 15%. So if this is the first time it has crossed 15%, then my formula should take into consideration, and the value should come as what? I know the value should come as what? The value should come as what? The value should come as 97.2 minus 77.8. ये value आना 19.44 आना चाहिए, मेरा formula correct हो जाएगा. So let's try to bring that form value. So in case, so less than है तो ठीक है, equal to है तो भी ठीक है. But if it is not the case, that is, it's less than or equal to, say, nahi ban raha hai, it is more than 15%, then the value should be what? The value should be what? The value should be, the value should be the cumulative value minus 15%, right? 15% is ऊपर की जो भी value, who is going to pay that? Debt, yes or no? Yes or no?
Sumit, sorry to interrupt. Can we use a simpler formula that differential between this 97 and whatever is coming from the equity, we can take from the debt.
You can take that. Take that. But are that formula going to, because solving one simple problem or one problem simply over here will enable us to solve the problem all the time or not, that also we have to think. So abhi kar lete hain, likh liye, theek hai? So for the timing, let's assume if this is not the case, that is equal to the fine, right? That means if it is greater than this, then the value should be what? The value should be 97.22 F4 minus whatever has been paid by equity holders, right? ठीक है, ये बोल रहा, बैलेंस अमाउंट आ जाएगा और परफेक्टली आ जाएगा. यहाँ पर देखिए ये आ गया एग्जैक्ट 94.44 आ गया, राइट? And in fact this formula will keep on working for all the years. There's no problem in that. Is it working for all the years? हो गया. This formula is working for all the years, right? Now only एक चेंज करना पड़ेगा, जो कि कब? लास्ट में. यहाँ पर क्या आना चाहिए? If उसके लिए वेरी सिंपल, जो उसमें किया था हमने,
राइट?
if okay, so you solved the problem very much more simpler way, so I really appreciate that. So I guess Nikhil has got this idea very well. Otherwise we would have made one more complicated formula reaching the same stage, but yes. Okay, so if, what is that thing? This number, right? This number is greater than, sorry, if
less than equal
less than or equal to
equal
100%,
100%.
तो हमें यही चाहिए, otherwise we want 0. और ये आपका फॉर्मूला यहाँ पर जब मैं पेस्ट करूंगा 0 बन जाएगा, बन गई, राइट? We're done. Yeah. Right. So we can go for a break, because I'm sure you guys would be feeling like taking a break, and then we can come back and continue our discussion. Yeah. Or don't, if you don't want break, fine for me.
Sure.
Should we take break?
We want break for that.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
Yes.
देख लेना, फिर मिलते हैं. Okay, so are you guys back?
Yes,
Yes, Sumit, yes.
Brilliant. So, any question on what? So the entire formula construction we had done for equity and debt so far, and obviously we did for monthly. Following the same approach, we can do it for quarterly as well as yearly also. I'm sure, understanding the framework or the process of how we build the formula is more important. Then the timeline can be played out, right? Because if you are doing it annually, it will suddenly become 1.4%. It will become 16.67%, right? That 17%. And the payment will also accordingly would change, right? Would get other than becoming it will become 17% for a year. So basically, it will become 1.4. In the place of 1.4%, it will become 17%, right? 7 की जगह पे आ जाएगा 30. Become 7 की in place of 7, it will become 30. So that will become our annual cost of project, right? Annual cost of project. So that's the basic conditioning we'll have to do, and we will be able to make framework accordingly. For quarterly, for monthly, if it is 97.222, for quarterly, we know it will be nothing but 97.22 into 4. Sorry, into 3. The 3 months in a quarter, right? So then quarterly, the cost will become 291. So all the workings will be done in context of 291 quarterly and 1166.67 in case of yearly, and 97 we had already done with respect to monthly contribution, right? Yeah. So again, any question on this formation of equity and debt formula which we have just created over here? Guys? Anyone? No question? Should I assume your silence to be no? Should I assume your silence to be no, guys? Please tell me so that I can move forward. It's as simple as that. Should I move forward? Maitri, should I assume your silence to be no?
No, I said I have got it. I've understood. I said.
You understood, right?
Yes, that's what.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the debt side. So now when we have done it in a more structured way, in a better way over here, was it something like this only? We are done in a farm. So first, you have gone through this, right? At least the first monthly one, right?
Yes, Sumit, yes.
So any specific questions on any of the formation over here?
No,
Yeah.
no question. Only in this while we are calculating this, this quarterly one, why we calculated the number of days per quarter? I couldn't find the usage, at least until when we have seen it. I mean, to row number 46.
So you can ignore it, completely remove it.
Yeah.
Not change anything in the model. So though it is not required, but it is there just in case, if it is required,
Yeah,
but it is not
right.
required. We created
Yeah.
seeing the future in perspective that if it is required, so we can use it. Though obviously as you noted, it wasn't required because we did monthly calculation rather than, or we did the actual calculation is construction done per month, right?
Yeah, construction per month we did, and since we have to repay in quarter, so I think we did the quarterly calculation also, because if you see, there is a repayment schedule also which is coming in once the project is, once the project is operational, then
correct,
we have to repay.
Repay it.
Yeah.
Your days are not required. Anything else you noted? Anything which brings that how this formula would have been framed, or anyone over here who noted any question?
Sumit, what is this add drawdowns? I joined the session 15 minutes late. If this was explained starting of the session, I'll watch the video. Yes.
ना आप इतना एक्सप्लेन मत करो यार, इतने चीजें एक्सप्लेन मत किया करो, जो क्वेश्चन है वो पूछो, आप इतना फॉर्मेलिटी करने का जरूरत नहीं है. So what
I
is
did
this?
not understand.
Are you asking this one? Are you asking this ninth row?
Yes.
Let's talk about. See, this is more in perspective of what? Including cost overruns. Okay. So this is nothing but what we have did the calculation over here, right? Exactly the same as I can see, 77.99. That is the monthly drawdown. Nothing how much we are drawing monthly. It's exactly this is what it is, right?
It's the debt portion of how much debt you are getting monthly, because the interest will be calculated on the debt part.
Correct. Yeah. But this is what it is, right? 97. Then you do the cumulative of it, right?
Right.
So it is exactly the same thing, I feel. But yes, you can. So basically, how much are you drawing, right, in the form of debt? So these numbers, first, however, this number is wrong. This number should be 19 point. We already saw that, right? This number should be what?
19.4 or something.
Yeah, this should be this. Otherwise, if I'll say this equal to the values which you got over there from here, there would be only one false. Rest all should be true. Rest all should be true till we kept on drawing. Till here. There can be a couple of false also because of that one formula. There can be some hindrances here and there, but mostly it should be true. Couple of falses, as I said, can be just because the first formula mistake. Rest everything is true. Maitri, are you getting it?
Yes.
How much debt you are using, basically. It is nothing but how much debt you are using in a particular year or particular month. That is why, see, all numbers are coming true, right? The formula which we created over there, that is why it is coming all true. There would be a couple of false. I told you why the false is there, because the reason for the false is that Trojan which is there hidden in one wrong formula, which few people do get identified, but I have seen most of the people do not identify it, which is this. When the debt start paying, it is not 78 which they pay to the company, it is 19 which they pay to the company. It's difference of 97 and 78.
Yeah, first month.
Yeah.
97 minus 78, 19.
That is drawdown. So drawdown is basically now that you have understood, drawdown is basically nothing but the withdrawing the money from your bank account to use in the construction.
Okay. Withdrawal of debt amount. Okay.
And obviously, in this, you would not have found we doing any equity calculation, by the way, guys. Obviously, why? Any equity drawdown calculation is not done over here. Why?
Because it's debt.
It's a debt schedule, right? It's a debt schedule. But we have done this both debt and equity. So more challenging than debt schedule is actually construction plus IDC schedule. Because there we are calculating both. How much are the debt we are drawing and how much is the equity which we are incorporating into the business. Right?
Right.
Yes. Right. And now that that's the place where I'll take you from here to debt. From debt, you should go to construction plus IDC. But yeah, other than this, why it is far better than making an annual schedule? Because monthly schedule can help you understand the exact amount of interest which gets due.
Right.
And what proportion, because in a particular month only, but if you are making it annually, you might end up paying interest on an amount for which you should be paying interest only for 4 months, but you end up making payment on the entire year because you relied on annual calculation. So that kind of issues can happen. So monthly, when you do calculation monthly, it becomes easier to exactly calculate the interest portion. Now, with respect to interest, there's one more interesting thing. That is what? Whatever interest getting due, a certain percent of that interest is adjusted as IDC. What is the interest that is getting due over here? 0.9. Rate of interest is how much? 13.5, right? This is what we have assumed. During construction, the rate of interest will be 13.5. Post construction also, the rate is kept as same, 13.5. 13.5% of interest. And if you simply see, the calculation is nothing but rate of interest divided by, this is annual rate, right? So you need to multiply it with 12.
Yeah.
Multiply by the outstanding. Cumulative outstanding basically should be, right? Rather than being this. So opening balance, we can take into consideration opening balance also. Plus, this is a little bit tricky from that perspective, because if you do it on opening balance, it would not give you the right value because the opening balance is 0. But during the month, you have withdrawn how much? 77.8, right? So you make it opening balance or plus this. That can give you a reasonable answer. Or if you don't want to do this, you can say last year's opening balance or next month's opening balance simply. It will give you that value.
But that will not come until unless you calculate this.
That's a different story. But for the timing, I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
That's that you know. So obviously the best is anything which is then existing in the opening plus any new addition in this year into 10.5 percentage.
Divided by
12.
Yeah.
Monthly rate.
Then this will give you the best answer. This is perfect answer, not best, it's perfect answer. This is the interest getting due. And the important thing to notice over here is this, that this interest which is getting due will not be paid because there will be moratorium period. So your closing balance should be what? The interest, the opening balance basically, the opening balance plus any debt which is drawn to you, basically you withdrew from bank, plus any interest which is getting due on it. That should be your closing balance of the debt by all logic. That should be in all general scenario, that should be your closing balance of debt. Why? Because 0.9 why would 0.9 be resulting into adding the total amount of payment due? Because this 0.9 is not paid by you. Though it is due on your behalf, this is outstanding and you are not paying it. So it will get adjusted in the debt only, right? Are you getting so far?
It gets accrued, right?
Right, it get accrued, and because it's get accrued, you do not do any different accounting of interest. You say whatever getting accrued will be calculated as a principal only. So it will become part of principal, and that will become the accrued interest will also become the part of principal, and next month's opening balance will show that, right?
Right.
Now, to this we need to make one change, that is 30% of what is getting accrued as interest is getting converted into what? Equity, right? So that means what? Your principal outstanding then will not only be 77.8 and 0.9. The 0.9 will get reduced by that amount which needs to be converted in the form of equity. So some portion of this debt will be converted into equity, which is nothing but the interest cover. What percentage of the interest will be converted to debt?
30%.
Right. So that would result into reduction in the outstanding amount. So the closing balance will be what? 78.7 minus 0. The 78.4 exactly from that perspective. Yeah. So that is what IDC, that is interest during construction, is getting converted into what? Into equity. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear. Yeah. But
Sumit, one point only.
Yeah.
In case of a repayment, right? Since in the assumption we assume that the repayment has to happen quarterly, right? So that is why if you see in the quarterly only, we are getting that repayment.
Correct. So in the monthly, we haven't made we kept it 0.
Yeah, but it should be at least maybe at the end of certain, once. My point is that it should be reflected
be
there
done.
also somewhere. Yeah.
It can be done. It can be
Yeah.
done. It can be done if you want it to happen. The kind of formula you have to made, but it can be. It's not that it is impossible. It can be done.
Yeah.
Can be done. Principal repayment, and all you will have to do is then there you will have to calculate which quarter, and in that quarter which months came. Accordingly, you'll have to apply the formula over here. For example, June quarter, how many months come in June quarter? April, May, June. So April, May, June of that quarter, right, should have the number total equivalent to June quarter's total payment, right? That is the only thing you'll have to take care of. There you'll have to use these dates in the formula somehow. That's what I'm trying to picturize, and we can further moderate it, but this is how I can picture out to start with. So this, okay, so in fact this is quarter 1, 12, quarter 1. So we don't need, so we have calculated this month counter, right? Quarter tag, right?
Quarter tag is there, yeah.
Yeah,
so you know which month belongs easy, to
right?
which quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's easy then in that case. So now that is very easy, right? Repayment calculating is very easy. If this is equal to this, right, then you should have a value which is equal to days interest and repayment divided by 3.
Right.
And there the daily things would also come into picture, but to start with, you can do like this. Okay, I did some problem with the formula, I guess. Otherwise, 0. To further update it, how many quarters this has been made for? Been made for quarter March 2024. But repayment will start much later after that, right? So we have to. So basically, yes, we have to forward it, make it forward. For many months, right? Obviously. कहीं पे तो repayment start हो जाएगा.
Repayment will start as soon as the plant is operational.
हाँ, मतलब वही वो कौन से मंथ में हो रहा है?
91 month में होना चाहिए वो.
यहाँ से.
I think here also that value in your sheet is not coming. If you see even in quarterly the value is there, yeah, minus 162, yeah.
है ना, कौन से आया है उसे मैं देखना चाहता हूँ. This is coming from quarter 4 2017. Where is quarter 4 2017 over here? यहाँ से आना चाहिए, right?
Right. Quarter 1.
यहाँ पर इस फॉर्मूले को चेक ऐसे नहीं, so ये फॉर्मूला ऐसे नहीं बनेगा because quarters are lesser than the months. So here,
yeah.
So we have to apply a different formula. We have to make a formula in which wherever that quarter falls against that quarter, whatever the value is, should come. So let's try another formula equal to V lookup or H lookup. Here it would be H lookup. Horizontally we'll have to look for, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Go to H lookup. The lookup value will be quarter 1 2012, right?
Yeah, the range.
Right. The range would be this entire table. Starting from here till at least till repayments. Right. So this comma, this would be my range. Row index number. So row index number should be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To put it, we can make it 10, right?
Oh.
And exact match. तो इसमें इसको fix करना पड़ेगा F4. And let's see if this formula works.
You'll have to divide by 3 also there, no?
हाँ, divide by 3 also. ऐसे तो सिर्फ H lookup करेगा, value को लाएगा.
And the total value should be
And
divided
this entire value divided by. I guess हम if भी लगा सकते हैं. Let's see. If error, if error, then is error लगाना पड़ेगा. Is error. Is error. Let's see if this formula works. (2017) से रिपीट स्टार्ट होगा. Q1 2017. Q4 2017. अभी भी नहीं आया, राइट? इनफैक्ट हम यही से लेते हैं इसको, यहाँ से टेबल की रेंज कर देते हैं 20, देखिए 22. फिर यहाँ से नंबर हो जाएगा 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, you dividing 30. ये कुछ गड़बड़ हो रहा है आपका ना? Seems
3 होना चाहिए.
3 and
फिर भी ये नंबर नहीं आ रहा. ये फॉर्मूला सही नहीं लग रहा, राइट? इस एरर के बाद में कॉमा करके 0 आना चाहिए, राइट?
yeah. पहले इस एरर को I think you can
इसको
remove
वापस
this
सही
error
करते
first. पहले एक बार
हैं.
इस एरर को हटा
लेट्स डू इट फ्रॉम स्टार्ट. मतलब थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन है, शुरू से करते हैं. इक्वल टू इस एरर को छोड़ देते हैं. H lookup, right? H lookup. Now lookup value is Q1. Q10. Let's first check if the formatting is correct or not. This equal to this is coming true or not. Formatting correct. Formatting का issue नहीं है, ठीक है. Okay, H lookup value is this one, Q1 12, comma table array. Comma row index number 8, comma false. That is exact match. Bracket divided by 3, right? And is error
I think you have to use one bracket before after 3. Yeah.
ठीक है, got it. यहाँ पर ट्रू आना चाहिए था, नहीं आया। करेक्ट दिस फॉर्मूला, नॉट एन इशू। पहले हमको एक बार 19 में जाना है और वो मैच करवाना है। फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव इज दैट, राइट? तो रीपेमेंट का अमाउंट आता है, वी गेट रीपेमेंट अमाउंट ऑन दैट। Is it dependent on the above one? The circular referring कोई circular referring नहीं है, we just have to confirm. पहले इसको डबल ले रहे हैं। No, 8 आ गया। So we are getting now, right? This is correct formula. The only update is divided by 3. कोई एरर की वजह से कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। Now divided by 3 करेंगे तो क्वार्टरली का मंथली पेमेंट आ जाएगा, राइट? And this value will become 0 at the end of the day. Total outstanding should become 0. 0 हुई, यहाँ पर हो गए 0, right? Outstanding has become 0 if you see that, right? From here, so this formula needs to be updated that once this entire repayment becomes 0, the repayment will then, from here the repayment should become 0 ultimately. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? From here onwards the repayment यहाँ पर नहीं सर, अभी चलेगा
अभी चलेगा,
नहीं, हो गया 0 है।
10 साल बाद 0 होगा वो।
नहीं हो गया 0 हो गया, सी
यहाँ के बाद हो गया, राइट?
राइट, March 2027 में repayment has become 0. This is done. So yeah, it's doable. वो formula we were unnecessarily getting into is error.
Yeah, no point.
उसकी वजह से ही हो रहा था. Otherwise the formula is working fine. So it is doable. Okay. What else? Any further thing which we can add on to this?
Yeah, Sumit, one more question. Let's say if you go to where we are actually, let's say at the start of the operation project.
Should I go to this?
No. On the same same file.
Okay.
You go to let's say come to quarterly file, quarterly table, and then you see this project operational 10. Okay. So go from just keep on moving to the column where it starts beginning, it starts generating the power. Okay. So here, So here, the total, the opening balance is 6466, right? And then we started the repayment quarterly 162 crore, right?
Okay.
So my point is that after that, also on this reduced value, let's say this 6304, let's say next month. So I will have to pay the interest to the bank on this outstanding value also, or at least the
Yes.
debt portion of that.
नहीं तो वो income statement में आ रहा होगा आपको. After that, why we are not calculating over here? Just because there is no IDC. Now there is no
I
IDC.
understood. IDC is not there because the construction period is over.
So
But I was looking for that. Where is the interest on that outstanding
nice.
also?
So that will definitely come to income statement, right?
Okay.
So interest, now you will start treating it as an interest expense, right? So if you look at it, where is it coming from? It's coming from your this cell. Where can you find? हाँ यहाँ से देखो interest calculation, interest repayment start होगा इस तरीके से, क्योंकि वो annually बना है, तो आपका interest during construction सिर्फ यही तक है.
अच्छा.
Right?
Okay, it is in the below. Okay. So fine. I just looked up to row number 46 or
नहीं
so.
वो फिर क्या है कि नीचे वाले में आपका क्या है L103, right? फिर वो इंटरेस्ट एक्सपेंस देखेंगे आप, पूरा इंटरेस्ट ड्यूरिंग ऑपरेशंस. वो इंटरेस्ट ड्यूरिंग कंस्ट्रक्शन था, यहाँ पर क्या कैलकुलेशन है? इंटरेस्ट ड्यूरिंग operations. So for the years once you become operational, now you do not have to keep carry forward because there is no moratorium period, obviously, right?
Right.
So whatever interest getting due will not be converted into any equity or anything. Whatever is the interest, you have to repay it. So,
Right.
so that is the, so then it will become a income statement item. So that is where it is going. Yeah, that's a good observation. What else? मायत्री पूछो ये फॉर्मूला, ये कहीं पे आपको कुछ भी पूछना है? 9101 anything?
No, Sumit, I have to go through detail. I need more time after this class. I said maybe this week.
वो तो लास्ट वीक भी आपने बोला था. चलो पहले आपका वो बनाते हैं, क्या कहते हैं, थिंग वेयर यू गॉट स्ट्रगल, राइट? दिस what was you not able to make? Which formula was that?
Operational factor, operational year counter.
पहले मुझे टैब बताएंगे, फिर वहां से आगे.
Row number 9, general
tab,
generation and revenue. This one only.
Okay, so in this row number 9.
Row number 9, yeah.
इसमें क्या करना था हमें?
Not row number 9, sorry. A fraction of operation.
ये वाला, right?
हाँ, this
इसका formula हमने बनाया था, right?
I've done. I'll share my screen, Sumit, because I don't know where I have gone wrong.
ठीक है, you share your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, now take me the situation, give me the situation analysis.
Here,
what is to be done?
I've taken if G9 is 0, this one, operation counter is 0, it's 0%. Fraction of operation should show 0%. If G9 is 1, that means like if operational counter is 1, then you have to see if H2 minus G7. H2 is.
What is my formula? You said I had used your formula also exactly the same.
Yeah, this is the one which you had given here.
Yeah.
This one. I've pasted it. I've written the same thing over here. Then I tried step by step. Like only.
You'll have to use bracket first. That where you are dividing by 365, Maitri. I think you will. Where was that your formula?
This is my.
Can you open your formula?
This is the one. Yeah.
So H2. What is H2? H2. You put
H2 is this one. Yeah.
Minus G7, right?
Yes.
So you have to use the bracket. H2 and minus.
Yeah, bracket लगाना पड़ेगा.
This one.
Put a bracket over there.
Yeah.
कॉपी
Here
करते
also
समय फॉर्मूला में
H2.
कॉपी करते समय भी आपने नहीं लगाया ब्रैकेट में, but that is fine. अभी एक बार ये करो, H2 माइनस G7 के आगे लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है, जो उन्होंने एक चेंज बताया सिर्फ वही करो आप।
Only
हाँ,
this.
अभी एंटर करो, हाँ एंटर करो।
If G9 is 0, if G9 is 1, then what you want to?
Have you copy pasted it?
Yeah, I copy it. Here, here it is
Upper
getting first.
हाँ, Control S करो।
One minute, I'll just.
Let's now dissect the formula. If G9 is equal to 0, what is G9? Press F2 on this. F2 on this, yes. G9. That
Nine
is
is
operation counter is 0, then it will be 0% without any. Yeah. Yeah. Now, otherwise it will be 1.
Yeah.
G9 is equal to 1.
Yeah,
Then
G9
look for.
equals 1. Then
So is there any other optionality? G9 can it be 2 also? Can it be 3 also? 9,
no,
Nine.
only 0 or 1. That's it, right? If it is
then
operational, we are giving 0. If it is
then it is not
again-
required. Then it is not required to write if G9 is equal to 1 because that is given. Na?
okay.
Hold
I'll
on this.
remove-
हाँ एक बार इसको रिमूव करो यहाँ से पूरा हाँ यही से that is given हाँ अभी if H2 minus G7 is equal to greater than 0 that is H2 minus G7 H2 and G7 अभी
This
ये
much.
H2 and G7 का formatting we need to confirm if it's same or not है ना अभी enter कर दो एक बार just press enter
इसमें भी आपको मुझे ब्रैकेट लगाना पड़ेगा आई गेस,
हाँ
राइट?
ब्रैकेट लगाना पड़ेगा इसको अभी ऐसे कैसे भी तोड़ दो आप जैसे भी करके ऑफ कर दो इसको हाँ now look at the format which you have used because 12 March has a different formula March 13 has a different format it will not work that way then equal to करो हाँ this equal हाँ ये क्या आता है it is no number of days are not coming right
Number of days are not.
we want outcome as the number of days yes or no
Yeah.
and see 12 March और March 13 का format अलग है hello 12 March and March 13 are into two different format. You need to calculate the format correctly. You need to have all the numbers are in same format. First, just do that. Copy it. Copy it.
Copy.
ऐसे तो ना copy करते. Control C करो. Yes. And go to and select everything. Control Alt V T करो. Select everything.
Control Alt V T.
Control Alt V T.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And paste.
Control Alt V T. कुछ और खुल गया है.
No, what should I select here?
Control Alt V T.
After
All
pressing, I
together.
got this.
Control.
Can you see this table is open?
Escape कर दो escape.
Okay. Control Alt V and T. Okay. Yeah. Format, right?
Right. T ना तो आ जाएगा. So yes T. T करते ही format आ जाता है. Okay करो. ये problem है. Now this is the problem. Control Z करो वापस से. What date is it considering? There is a big problem over here. Where have you got this 12 March? Because this is not. It should be. किसी और format में होगा वो.
This date is from here.
March.
2000.
इसका जो फॉर्मेट है वो मार्च के बाद होना चाहिए 12 मार्च नहीं होना चाहिए वो फिर वो डेट आ रहा है सी 12 मार्च एंड मार्च 12 में डिफरेंस है माइत्री 12th मार्च इज 12th मार्च मार्च 12 इज मार्च 2012
Yeah. Financial
are you
year
getting
ending. Yeah.
so this is as a date right मार्च 12 नहीं है ये 12th मार्च कर रहा है इसको right
Okay.
there's a problem over here
Okay, I'll correct the format, then try, then I'll come back.
And it would
Tomorrow we have
start functioning. So इसको करते हैं अभी बात एक साल बाद नहीं करना, अभी करना है. ये March 13 को copy करो.
okay.
Copy it and come to 12 March. इसको करो Control Alt V, press Control Alt V and then T. Yeah, format का T. Yes. Okay करो. ठीक
Got it.
है.
Like now it's proper.
बस एक बार रीड करना है कि वो रीड कैसे कर रहा है. मुझे कंफ्यूजन है कि वो अभी भी इसको 12 मार्च ही रीड कर रहा है. जस्ट गिव मी द
1
कंट्रोल.
minute. I'll just
गिव मी द कंट्रोल. I don't want all this. See, this is reading as what? 3/12/2012. Wherein the date should be what? Financial year closing year should be what?
31st March.
31st March 2000.
2000.
First, we need to cover clear that where is this date coming from? Assumption D 18/3/12.
I think where it is 12, it should be 31st. The formula.
Month D10 is greater than 3, year D10.
So basically calculating the financial year. So if
Yes.
it is greater than March, then it is the
Year is
year
n
plus
plus
1,
1.
otherwise it
And
is the same year. Yeah.
correct. So year wise तो ठीक है, but यहाँ से अगर डेट लेंगे तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा.
नहीं इसमें डेट भी जो लिया है ना इन्होंने, जहाँ पे 12 where it she written 12, it should be 31st.
31st. That's the only thing we need to do, right?
Yeah.
वो करेंगे तो हो जाएगा. Do it, Maitri, now. ये half है. Let's make it 35. This is day. Now tell me, where was your formula? Now we are on the.
Here, sir. Yeah.
This is where you build the formula, right?
Yes.
नहीं वो आपका ओरिजिनल फॉर्मूला तो मैंने बिगड़ा दिया था ना ये. अभी एक और चीज का प्रॉब्लम है. If you are able to notice it or not, I don't know. Things are not fixed over here. You want this अभी इसमें देखो ये date short हो रहा है, right?
No, the first one is only not working for me.
समझ नहीं रहा मेरी बात को. इसको ये फिक्स करना है. ये कहाँ पर है ये नंबर? ये हमेशा यही होना चाहिए ना. It should be 3/31/2017 all the time, right?
Yes, yes.
वही मैं कह रहा हूँ आपको. इसकी कहाँ पर यूज कर रहे हैं? Where are we using this?
Actually,
H2.
H H2. So सारे H2 को आप फिक्स कर दीजिए. Fix all the H2. Right, and here all. नहीं, I am doing it. Either you do it. हाँ करो आप करिए. You do it. F4 करिए. And then you make that also fixed. H2 पहले वाला भी वो डबल बार है press हो गया आपका. Now you have to press it 3 times. Press 3 times F4. हाँ ठीक है. Fix enter कर दीजिए. Enter. One by one we'll correct it. I don't know if we'll give the right answer or not, but just let's do it one by one. एक तो error खत्म हो गया. ठीक है. It is fixed now. Now all the time the same dates, वही date shortlist हो रहा है, right? Now from here onwards, what should happen? It should come some proportion, right?
Yeah.
Till here everything is fine. अभी ये formula भी सही कर देते हैं. Copy C and copy V.
100% आना है from 2018.
Now let's see at this formula. Let's come to this juncture. What is the problem? Now because it is 1, M9 is equal to 1. So the problem is because you create. See, the problem is first एक problem इसको भी solve करना पड़ेगा. ये इसका requirement नहीं था. इसका दरकार नहीं है यहाँ पर. इसकी वजह से वो false दिखा रहा है वहाँ पर. It is not required over here. There are two conditions getting mixed. Okay. Now let's play with the brackets. This bracket is like one, ये एक extra bracket है, इसको हटाओ और इसमें एक bracket लगाओ, एक बार enter करो, बस अभी भी एक वो दरकार, ठीक है, ये भी let's do it. So M9 is equal to 0, so then it would be 0%, right? But it is 1. So if it is 1, then if H2 minus M7 is greater than 0, H2 minus 7, M7, what is H2? That is this, minus M7, M7 is this, is greater than 0. Greater than 0, तो वो कभी होगा ही नहीं greater than 0.
Actually, it should be M7 minus.
Yeah, H2. Because otherwise it will never be greater than 0, right? Hello?
Yeah. Yes.
समझ रहे हो? It will never be greater
Yeah.
than, in all the cases, it will never be greater than 0. So what we were trying to do over here when you did it, what we were trying to say, if I read what you wanted to make, H2 minus M7. So H2 minus M7 will always be negative. If it is greater than 0, no, it is not greater than 0. So this condition is not
M7
met.
minus
This
H.
condition is. So what if, so see, in if formula, whenever you apply if formula, you have to give the second condition also. So this is your condition, right? This is your condition. आप समझ रहे हो? This is your condition. This is not logical test. This is your condition.
Yes.
After that comes value if true. ये पूरा value if true में हो गया. ये पूरा. The entire thing is value if true. The entire thing. What is value if false? Because right now in this formula it is false, but you have not given any instruction to the Excel what to do if value is false. Value if true का दिया आपने, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, in if formula, whenever you apply if formula, you'll have to give two conditions.
Yes.
You have given only one condition. That is, if this logical test is true, then you do this. But what if the logical test is false? उसके बाद क्या करना है? क्या बोला आपने? इसलिए वहां पर false लिखा हुआ है. वो बोल रहा है आपको कि मुझे बताओ करना क्या है. False बता दिया उसने, ये बता दिया कि the logical test is false. Now what to do? You have to tell them. Are you getting?
Yeah. Yes.
अभी we are not questioning you have done this correct or not. वो उस पे आते हैं. But right now biggest problem is what? You have applied a function in which you already given what to do when it is true, but you haven't told what to do when it is false. So this formula will never work. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
ठीक है. So अभी इस पे आते हैं. अब बोलना क्या चाहते थे? Now tell me what you wanted to say.
No, that's what I've written the dates the other way.
वो तो निखिल ने बोला, वो तो निखिल बोलेगा नहीं आपने सही लिखा है तो सही हो जाएगा, निखिल बोलेगा गलत, तो ऐसा तो होता नहीं है ना. अभी आप मुझे ये बताओ आप ये बोलना क्या चाहते थे? Forget about the formula. यहाँ पर आप क्या बोलना चाहते हो? What is that you want to say to Excel over here?
Okay, here what I was trying to say is, if this date is greater than this date, then show me 100%.
Sorry, which date is greater than which date?
Column number M date.
आप मेरे को आप अपना माउस को यूज करके बताओ ना. हाँ.
Column number M date is greater than date in column number H, then show me 100% as a fraction.
Why always 100%? It can be less than 100% also, right?
Yeah. Like,
अच्छा, ठीक है. To start with.
Yeah, at least I'll get.
And now, what is your formula telling you?
My formula is saying this date is less than this date. This one. H is less than M. That is what it's saying.
It is ulta of what you want to bring over here, right?
Right.
Let's then do it correct.
I'll do.
Do it.
I'll erase free.
Why are you erasing the entire thing? Hello.
No, only so much. Link.
Okay. What are you doing? आपने बंद कर दिया है, क्या कर दिया आपने ऐसे? Hello, bracket, if you have to apply the if condition is closed now. Now it's fine. You see, नीचे लिखा हुआ आता है, उसको पढ़ते रहिए. लॉजिकल टेस्ट लिखा, वो ब्रैकेट क्लोज करते ही वहां पर लॉजिकल टेस्ट बंद हो गया. You need to keep a look. ये इसीलिए आता है, Excel is helping you. ये सब दिखा के आप वैल्यू इज ट्रू है, वैल्यू इज फॉल्स है, क्या है देखिए नाउ.
And minimum of 100%, comma, or have to use brackets, right? This minus this day divide by 3. That's it.
ठीक है. Now minimum bracket is closed and value if true is condition is also fulfilled. Now put one more comma. See, नीचे बोल रहा है वो value if false condition बाकी है. हाँ, what if the value, तो क्या लाना है? 0.
Starting I've given 0%, right?
I don't know, like you can make it 0 right for the time being. We don't know where the formula is going.
Okay.
Bracket
Enter.
close. एक और क्लोज. देखो जब ब्रैकेट क्लोज करते हैं ना तो
Color.
रिफ्लेक्ट करता है,
Color.
कलर रिफ्लेक्ट करता है, राइट. एंटर.
Yeah.
तो फिर इसका फॉर्मेट परसेंटेज करना पड़ेगा आपको. ऊपर से परसेंटेज को ऐसे क्लिक कर दो ऐसे. Copy and paste it till the end.
Yeah.
I guess it's done, right?
Yeah.
So have you got the message how you had to do it?
Yes.
The biggest problem is not with respect to finding the right formula. The biggest problem is you're not following the basics of if formula, right? If conditions may, if you're putting value true, you have to put value false also, right? In fact, अगर आपने जो formula copy किया है ना, if I would have used, if I had used the same formula, it wouldn't have given us any value. तो ये आपने copy करते समय भी comma का बाद में 0 नहीं लाना है. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, this.
इस जगह पे कॉपी करते समय भी यहाँ पर कॉमा के बाद 0 होता, बिकॉज अदरवाइज क्लास में चलता ही नहीं फॉर्मूला वुडंट हैव वर्कड. आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is done then.
No, this one is good.
What else?
This or this.
Yeah, और कहाँ पर इशू आया? Where
That's
else?
it. No, I was stuck here only. I couldn't go for.
This is done, right?
Yeah, now it's done. First 4 lines only I did. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, anyone else tried out? So really good that Maitri, you brought out some time from your busy schedule and tried it out so that you can learn it. What about others? Anybody else tried it out and found any problem? Damini, Chandni. Have you tried it out? Or is there any problem you face with that schedule, or that schedule is fine? You're now comfortable with that schedule, tell me.
Yeah, that
It's fine, right?
I understood. Formulas I will try to practice on.
So now you guys quickly go through, though we have already discussed this construction plus IDC, just quickly go through it, right? Because the big formulas which I have made, this has been made in keeping construction plus IDC on. So I would like you to quickly go through it, normal project as well as cost overrun. So from column number 3 to column number, sorry, row number 3 to row number 34. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, yes.
From column wise, you can just keep yourself till column number G. Okay? So from row number 3 to row number 34, and from here, column number B to column number G. Just quickly go through it. Because now it would not be very difficult for you to understand, given that I just have already done these calculations in front of you, 97, 194, this cumulative and all, how we can decide when the debt will start with the equity holders when they would stop, and then again when they will start contributing towards the project cost. All this, given that we already discussed, you wouldn't take much time, just go through it. Yeah, guys, is it clear? Hello, Mr. Barker, are you getting all this or not? Tell me, Mr. Barker,
Yeah, Sumit, I'm getting
are you
it.
able to catch up
So
with all
we'll,
this or not?
yes, Sumit.
Yeah. So go through these column numbers which I said and row numbers till column F, but row number till 34. Okay.
Yeah.
Construction plus IDC tag.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm sure you would have been going through it, and it was easier than earlier. Understanding? Tell me. Making more sense, right? 97 as a figure, 1.4 as a figure. All these are making more sense, right? The drawdown schedule, 30% equity, 70% debt, but not exactly in 30-70. But first, earlier, it would be all 100% equity, and then after that, it would be. So this is all decided, right? In a project finance, guys, construction schedule is very important. The entire debt schedule is dependent on this construction plus IDC schedule, right? Yes or no? Are you guys there with me? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
Sumit.
Sumit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
So I hope this would require much more discussion than only what we have done. We will few more, maybe couple of hours further we'll spend on this model tomorrow also. This is long, I agree. Each of the formula is very difficult, and that is why we need more time on it. But result will only come Sundari or Sakshi or Maitri, especially Fiza, Chandya. Result will come more in far better way if you also spend more time in individual
Yes, sir.
rather than in only
Practice.
waiting for the sessions to happen. Right? Otherwise, there's so much of learning into it. All of a sudden,
But your
right?
voice is breaking.
And like this, is it clear now?
Yeah, it's
Is it
clear.
better now? Hello? As
Yes,
I'm saying,
Sumit.
you guys need to spend more
Yes,
time
Sumit.
on
That's
it in individually also, independently also, you need to spend more time on it, right? In order, if you want to really learn more on it, right? If you know, as many questions you bring, we would be able to discuss it, right? But important point is you understand by with for example, Nikhil is able to understand it in something in 2 hours, maybe not everyone, because Nikhil belongs to that that area of the project finance or his professional life. He's connected to this kind of things, right? But not you. So you guys need to spend more time and come up with it. Come up with questions to me, right? So and if you really want to excel it, honestly, tab by tab, I would highly recommend that tab by tab you build the entire model all your own. And that is where success is gonna come. Yeah. So we'll continue with our discussion on this for a few more hours, if not the full session, but for a few more hours. I understand it is required. But still, please, I have my
So,
humble request, guys.
one thing before
Yeah.
ending the class, in evaluation 2, in a 15-mark question, it says either of two, but
There's only one
one
question, but there is only one
That's it,
question.
right?
That's all. No? Life is like that only. There's no.
No,
You
no,
would
we
think
just want to make sure the Excel sheet, what we are getting, is it the right one?
it's
Because
correct.
we
Yeah, in
asked the
life,
same
my
thing to
three
Shashank.
same thing was asked last time also by someone. I guess in your session, someone else. But see, that's how life is, my three. You think that there would be choices, but as you grow, the choices goes down to zero. So you are only left with one. So that's what the face
Okay,
of
yeah,
reality it
sure.
is, right? So there's only one question, and that's something which you have to do. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
you're getting the right action. Okay. So tomorrow again we'll continue. And what is the deadline, by the way, for evaluation 2 to submit?
24th.
I forgot.
24th, March 24th.
Okay. All right. Carry on. Cool, guys. See you tomorrow. We'll continue our discussion tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye, Sumit. Thank
We'll
you.
just
Thank
see
you
the
so much.
valuation tomorrow. We'll not look anything
Bye,
else, and
Sumit.
valuation would be easier than anything else. We'll simply go down to the valuation and NPV IR calculation tomorrow, and we'll close this model. Yeah. But if you guys spend more time on it, and if you will bring more questions, I would happy to answer and respond. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Sumit. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.